It's Drive Time with Holly. Business and consumer news you can trust. I mean, what else are you going to do sitting in traffic?
Yes, welcome to the show, everyone. This is another edition of Drive Time with Holly, and I am Michael Yaffe.
And I'm Holly.
And we have I think it's a really exciting program.
So exciting.
Today, as we get ready for the holiday shopping season, which I'm sure some people have already started.
Oh, you can't escape it. You go to the grocery store, you go to the drugstore, you go to the mall, and it's here. The holiday season is upon us.
I feel like it was here in October, maybe, for some places, but
for a kid named Holly,
that's true. I didn't even think about that.
This is my time of year. So for the people who say don't rush it or whatever, I say leave me alone. If I have to share my birthday presents with my Christmas presents, I say leave me alone. If I put my tree up the day after Halloween, get off my back.
Okay, I will make sure to get off your back and not give you a hard time for that. So, but before we get to, even December, we have Thanksgiving, and then we have Black Friday, and then Cyber Monday, which is a big thing now, almost exceeds Black Friday in a lot of cases.
Right.
Where people start their Christmas shopping.
Yeah, I know in my family, the big thing is around the Thanksgiving table, or as the dishes start clearing, the newspaper comes out, and
that's soon, huh?
People are looking through the sale ads, and people are looking through what's going to be on sale, who has it, forming a plan for Black Friday shopping. But for me personally, I'm much more of a methodical list-making type of shopper. So I am your Cyber Monday audience. But
really,
Black Friday it's a thing, and it's a really big part of my family's Thanksgiving celebration. Is everyone sitting around and making those plans?
So do you go out on Black Friday?
No. But I have my fingers nimble and my credit card out for Cyber Monday.
Okay, that makes sense. Much more of a Cyber Monday shopper. Yeah, I think I am too. I don't think I'm big in going on Black Friday. I like sleeping in on my days off.
And retailers have really made it so that you can get great deals. You can shop around. You can price shop, and you can do it all from the comfort of your home. But there is something to be said for the excitement of going into stores on Black Friday. And for a lot of families, when they've gotten together for the holiday, you might go shopping with your mom and your aunts and friends and family that have gathered for the holiday. So, it's
I know for some
thing.
people, for some people, it's a tradition.
Absolutely.
They make sure to do it every year, and they'll do it with their family.
Right. And so I'm thankful that we have retailers who this is an important time of year for them. It's important for their staffs. They get extra hours. They, this is a big deal when it comes to the bottom line for a lot of businesses. So we have joining us here today in studio two professionals representing brands that really depend on this season and really have started to prepare for the shopping season, the holiday season with Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yes, we have a couple of guests with us today. As you said, we have Scott Ugachoni, who is with Barnie's Coffee and Tea. And then we have Sarah McLean, who is with
Shea Bakery.
Shea Bakery. So welcome to the show. Glad you guys could join us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thanks.
Yeah, so we're so excited to talk to you guys because recently we did a show about tax season and about preparing for your taxes, and it was very accounting based. And while it was really interesting, I'm a marketing public relations person, and I do good to count on my fingers. Now, marketing and branding, that's my thing. So preparing for this show, I was really excited and look forward to picking your brains because this is a big time of year. And for the marketing folks and for the retailers, this is when they really get to shine. So I appreciate you guys joining us. So let's talk about Black Friday and Cyber Monday. How big of a deal is it, Scott, in your world? How big of a deal is Black Friday on your calendar?
Huge. For our company, we'll do in 2 days probably what we'll do in a month in revenue.
Wow. And are you generating that through digital marketing, and are you pushing customers to your site, or are you doing deals that speak for themselves? How are you bringing customers in?
Both. We'll do some significant digital advertising to draw customers in, and then with our regular customers offer very aggressive deals those 2 days.
Right. So would you say that through the holiday season, will the spending continue, or do you see a major spike on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then it goes back to where it was in July, October, or does the spending continue at an elevated rate?
Without a doubt, you'll see some big spikes on those 2 days, and November and December are certainly strong months for us. So the sales continue to ramp up, and then as you would expect, after Christmas, things kind of plateau.
Yeah. Who's your ideal buyer? Who are you going after? If you had to, out of a room of people, if you had to pick out, that's the Barney's customer right there. What does that person look like? Who is that person?
Well, currently we think moms. I'd say from the 35 to 45-year-old moms. But we recently also came out with a new product line geared towards more towards millennials. Mm-hmm. So
what's in that product line that's geared more towards millennials? I'm a millennial, so that's the only reason I'm asking. So
sure. Well, it's called Crop X, which stands for Extraordinary Crop, which is a single origin whole bean coffee.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That we work directly with small farms in various countries, and actually work with an organization that we give back a certain amount of the proceeds to. There's traceability, so it's just a great story, and we're really excited that we just recently launched it on our website. So I encourage you to check it out.
So that product line has a social element to it, which we know that Gen X and millennials love. So one thing that we were talking about before the show got started was, Barney's has been through several different iterations and different looks and feels, but the company has remained nimble enough that the Barney's you knew 10 years ago and the Barney's that exist today, they're different, but thank goodness the brand is still with us because you've been nimble, because you have increased your online sales presence, because you have come up with a brand that has a social aspect. Talk a little bit about the longevity of the brand and the different twists and turns that Barney's has made. Sure, and it's been challenging, just to be very candid, and how you stay relevant, and you want to keep your identity without trying to be somebody too new. Right. And I think that a lot of brands, that's one of the challenges. So we did some soul searching and recently reverted back to, I guess, Barney's Coffee and Tea with some new packaging, a new tagline, Grounds for Adventure, which we're proud of, and we wanted to be true to ourselves and be that brand that people knew from 37 years ago, right, but also be enticing and attractive to the new generation. Right. And so so our company culture has changed to be consistent with that and evolved. Absolutely.
Which you have to do. I mean, there's a lot of competition. Yeah. And when it comes to coffee and tea these days,
it's a competitive space and dominated by some big brands who will remain nameless, but we all know who they are, and it's personal. We find that coffee is a personal thing. People like their coffee a certain way, whether it's hot or iced, and so what we're trying to do is say, hey, listen, we're a brand that's been around. The old Barney's, with our very popular Santa's White Christmas, is still here, but
which is still popular among my family.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah,
and we have some new things too. So it's really exciting. It's really exciting, and I'm very proud to be associated with an iconic brand. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to talk more about that, and we're going to talk with our other guest, Sarah, as well, about her business. So you are listening to Drive Time with Holly. I'm Michael Yaffe.
And I'm Holly.
And we're going to talk more about Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Christmas shopping, and much more. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Drive Time with Holly. Business and consumer news you can trust.
Yes, you are listening to Drive Time with Holly. I'm Michael Yaffe.
And I'm Holly.
And we have been talking a lot about what's on everybody's mind this week, I have no doubt. And that is upcoming Christmas shopping as we get close to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But not only, we focus on the consumer side, the shopper side, but it's also a big week and a big time of year for businesses as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of businesses, especially if you're in the retail space, this is, one of those dates that is highlighted and circled and kind of is the focus of your year. So we appreciate our guests joining us because I think, as a consumer, this is an interesting topic. And if you're a business owner, whether you're in the retail space or not, I think every business has kind of a flow and has a pace to their calendar year. And for you guys in the retail space, certainly this is the type of time of year where things really accelerate. So we appreciate you joining us. We were talking about before the break, Barney's Coffee and Tea, that being nimble and that the business has changed from the Barneys that we saw 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And one of the brands that has become iconic for you is Santa's White Christmas. And at what point did Santa's White Christmas become a thing? Like, when did the brand realize we've struck gold here?
Well, it was a seasonal item, and I think when one of our larger retailers came to us and said, we want to carry it year round, just that our consumers want it.
Did that surprise you?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. I'm just
no,
saying.
Me either, because it's delicious.
It's it's crazy just how this is just so addicting to people. I mean, it's morphed into just more than coffee. I mean, we have there's Santa's White Christmas ice cream out there. There's Santa's White Christmas.
Oh yeah, there is. I forgot about that.
There's Santa's White Christmas yogurt. Santa's White Christmas is actually 22 years old, so it's been around. But I get phone calls from candle manufacturers that are interested in the scent. So it's it has kind of just become its own beast, so to speak.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing you push it a little bit more during the Christmas season, though.
We do. We have some commemorative packaging that we offer in November that you'll see out there. It's a festive red packaging, and it's a great gift. We include it in a lot of gifts,
right?
And so absolutely, there is a huge spike in November and December, but you'd be surprised just how consistent this brand performs.
Right. Well, and the fact that major retailers want to, and grocery stores want to carry a Christmas Santa Claus themed product year round speaks to the quality and the popularity of it. I think, the taste and the scents and the packaging, when you're brewing that, it brings back these feelings and these memories and the emotions that come with the holiday season. And quite frankly, if I'm still listening to Christmas music in April, people are going to give me a hard time. But I can brew a cup of Santa's White Christmas and have those feelings without anybody, giving me a hard time about it. So I think the nostalgia and the feelings and the warmth that you feel during the holiday season, I think that must be this brand kind of all wrapped up in one package.
You nailed it. And that's what we hear quite often from people when you say Barney's Coffee and Tea. I mean, quite often you hear, oh my God, I love Santa's White Christmas. And it does. I think it brings back the memories, and it doesn't just restrict you from celebrating the holiday strictly in December.
Right.
I mean, so we're, so it does, I think it's resonated exceptionally well with everyone.
Well, and you guys have to be pleased that you have an iconic brand, because, if you have a product line or you are a retailer and you have one product, even one product that hits it out of the park and becomes iconic, you know, it's kind of like a musician who has that one signature hit, and at some point you hear that, you know, they get tired of playing it. No, I feel like Barney's, if I meet you in the hall and I say, oh, Santa's White Christmas, that's my favorite, you're happy to hear that every time.
Very happy, and it's also been a little bit of a challenge that we have other lines, other flavored coffees that are good too.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you have things for other holidays or other seasons?
We do. We think that we feel we have a coffee for every occasion.
Good. Every
occasion. We've got an incredible creamy buttery caramel coffee that is right behind Santa's in our sales. So again, it's just weaning people off just Santa's.
Don't wean them off. Don't wean them off. But give them a coffee for a different day of the week. Did you get into the pumpkin craze?
We do have a pumpkin pie that, again, is a seasonal, limited time only item that we offer. Another very popular flavor of ours is called Sweetheart Blend, which you'll be seeing closer to Valentine's Day and then again on Easter. Oh. And so these are all just great coffees that we encourage you to try.
Yeah. So getting back to the reason we're here, I could talk about coffee all day. But the reason we're here is to talk about Cyber Monday, Black Friday. How does your advertising, how do you, from a marketing aspect, how do you ramp up for this time of year to make sure that it can be as successful as you need it to be?
Well, we've been planning this for the past, I'd say, 2 months with weekly meetings to, one, identify the deals or offers that we want to run. We look at what other companies are doing.
Sure.
We want to be competitive in that regard. So it starts with that planning piece, and then what kind of creative do we want to pair with that to make sure that we're communicating it? How are we going to communicate it? Whether it's email blasts, as I mentioned earlier, our digital spend goes up in November and December.
Sure.
And then there's the operational component, which is also huge. I mean, you're going to do so much business. You need to make sure that you have inventory. We can fulfill it. So we bring in temp labor. So we're creating jobs just during the holiday season to be able to fulfill
keep up with the demand.
Fulfill all these orders. And so it's really just a planning process where
Sure.
It starts with, what do you want to do? Is it relevant? Is it going to be intriguing enough to drive people to our website? We're also doing promotions in our retailers simultaneously. So we have to keep that in mind too. What kind of deals are we offering in our retailers and the retail stores that are carrying our product as well as online?
And do you have to worry about whether or not those compete against each other?
Absolutely. And we also work with other e-tailers as well who are running deals. So you mentioned about just how competitive it is on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. The same applies, in the e-tail world.
Yeah.
So,
well, and this time of year, you've got all your cards on the table. So you're making sure that you have your product and your brand out with the e-tailers. You're on your own online shop. Also grocery stores and other brands that you have deals with to sell your product. So, it's an exciting time of year for you. And at what point do you consider the holiday season wrapped? Is that early January, or is that the week after Christmas? Or at what point do you start to kind of assess how successful were we? What changes are we going to make next year?
Well, December 22nd is actually officially Santa's White Christmas Day. So,
Santa's White Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a whole day to celebrate it.
Santa's
I have to put that on my calendar.
Right, Santa's White Christmas Day. So we'll be running hot deals on that day.
Nice,
for sure. But I'd say probably after New Year's Eve is when things we kind of call it a wrap, and you definitely see a slowdown for sure.
And so is that the point that you decide, okay, guys, what worked, what didn't work, what are we going to do different next year? Is that at the point at which you kind of review how successful was this holiday season? Where are our victories, and what can we do better next year?
Absolutely. We'll go back and assess what worked and what didn't work. And Holly, I should mention that we talk about Black Friday and Cyber Monday. There's a whole ramping up period before that. So we'll actually start offering deals Tuesday. Now they won't be as aggressive as what we'll offer on Friday and Monday, but I mean these are emails that'll go out. So and then we've also been doing teaser emails as well, just to build the hype, just like we see whether it's on TV or online with other operators. So we kind of ramp up that. So it's almost like Cyber Week.
Right.
So there's 7 days that we have high expectations in terms of sales and revenue. But to answer your question, yeah, we go back shortly after, assess everything from average number of orders to what was our conversion rate to everything, average order size. And we'll look at it. We'll look at it versus what we had planned. We'll look at it, how it performed versus last year. And then, of course, 2018, we'll evaluate that again before we plan for
next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Holly and I could talk about coffee apparently forever. But we do have to take a break here. And we're also going to talk with our next guest from Shea Bakery, Miss Sarah McLean, who is here as well. She has a very unique and interesting product, and we want to talk about that as well. You're listening to Drive Time with Holly. I'm Michael Yaffe.
And I'm Holly.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Drive Time with Holly. Business and consumer news you can trust.
And there is a lot of business and consumer news out there today because we are really, really close to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And that is the big topic here this week on Drive Time with Holly. By the way, I'm Michael Yaffe.
And I'm Holly.
And so we've been talking about coffee, and we're going to expand on that as well. But the big topic is obviously Christmas shopping.
Yeah, holiday shopping that's going to really kick off with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And we're joined in studio by another guest, Sarah McLean, who is with Shea Bakery. And before you conjure up images in your head of what you think that is, let's welcome Sarah. Thank you so much for coming.
Hi, thanks for being here.
Yeah, so Shea Bakery. If I'm on your website and I'm looking at the pictures and I'm not reading, I'm thinking this looks like the most delicious cake batter, the most delicious pies and cakes that I've seen in a long time. But then when you read the description, it turns out these are bath and body products.
Right. That's mainly the draw of the company. When you first go on the website, you think that you're looking at a menu or a bakery. But what we actually do is we curate our skincare products to look like cakes and cookies, cupcakes, things like that. And the scent inside of each product mimics the way that it's designed on the outside.
Well, that's a really unique, cool idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah, mission accomplished. So what's on top? Is that kind of like a lid or a cap, or is it part of the body product?
It's a cap. It's removable. It's fingerproof. It's washproof. All that kind of stuff. So it's gonna last a while. And it's just fun to look at. It's nice to have on your dresser.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. How did you get to where you are today? How did Shea Bakery get its start?
Well, I first started just doing this as a hobby. I used to have really bad skin, so I just was, mixing products, testing things on myself. Whatever I came up with worked, and I started selling it on Etsy, and my following just grew from there. I opened up my own website, and I kind of just expanded on social media, specifically Instagram, and a few people took notice and, helped build my brand, gave me shout outs, and that's what got me to where I am today.
Wow, that's the dream right there, that you just have something that just takes off. That's exactly what happened.
So tell us, at what point in the year or at what point do you start thinking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday? For you, your business is totally online. Is that right?
Correct.
So you don't have a brick and mortar where you're sitting your products out. So you have to really build your brand and build your following online. At what point do you start planning or deciding how you're going to tackle Black Friday and Cyber Monday?
I kind of start planning around August, October. Throughout the year, I'm already thinking of it, but I really start to take it more seriously, around that time.
Right.
Since our product it does so well on the gift market, Black Friday is a huge time for us. So I make sure that, not only our employees are aware of what's going to happen, but that customers are aware of the deadlines to order things to get it in time for Christmas.
Oh, right, for shipping.
Things like that. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah, there's really a lot of preparation. As buyers, as shoppers, we just want to go and get our product at a good price. But I'm guessing businesses, there's a lot of preparation involved in making sure you're ready. Yeah,
I think we take for granted at what point retailers and business owners have to start preparing for us to have a seamless, pleasant, easy shopping experience. End of the summer, you have retailers and you have business owners that have already started to form a plan for what we as shoppers are going to do with our money, in the fourth quarter of the year. Sarah, tell us, how will your sales be? Are you doing sales? Are you doing gift packages? Or how are you going to make the Black Friday, Cyber Monday shopping experience different from every other day?
Well, we do both. We do sales that are only specific for that weekend. We also have gift sets that are available to make things a little bit easier. That way they can pick for either a man or a woman or whoever they're buying for. And what we also do is have limited edition products that are available only during this time. So with how our company is, we handcraft things, we make our own creations. We'll have special creations for that time period.
So that your followers and your regular customers also, have an opportunity at something special during the holiday season.
Correct.
Can you talk about some of the special things you have coming up for this holiday season?
Well, right now we have a strawberry shortcake candle that is actually like a strawberry shortcake layered over and over in one little mason jar. So people are going crazy over that right now. In addition to that, we're going to come out with a couple of more special candles, maybe a few body butters. But what we really like to do is do like a sales countdown to Black Friday on that day. And we have a huge sale within the first hour. So people go crazy for that.
So like Barney's has holiday or seasonal specific products. Does Shea Bakery also have seasonal products or items that are pumpkin scented or peppermint scented or whatever? Do you do seasonal products like that too?
Yes, we do. We also have what's called a bakery box where we feature scents that are popular for that season. So we'll have like a peppermint scented one, maybe like something with mocha and vanilla. We do that every year around this time.
So you're building the excitement not only through sales and specials, but also through those limited edition scents that kind of get people in the mood for that season. And hopefully you draw in new customers. I'm sure that's a big part of all retailers this time of year, is that through your deals, you're drawing in new customers that you hope will last you, through the next 10 months.
Correct, exactly. Especially with making a product that's so easy for gift giving.
Yeah.
It kind of just, pushes the customer to give it as a gift. And there you go. You've got a new customer right there.
Where is the best place people who are listening who are interested in buying some of these products, talk about where they can get the product?
Well, they can go online to our site. It's called SheaMakery.com. That's SheaMakery.com.
And that's where they can both find your deals and also your normal product line.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. In the next segment, we're going to talk about how you pull people in. And I know that you and also we're going to introduce Lauren from Barney's Coffee and Tea have talked about the importance of marketing and influencers and how your brand is using or leveraging influencers to help bring in new customers.
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's many facets, many different ways to market nowadays with online, social media, and you still have the traditional TV, radio, newspaper. So we'll find out exactly all the different ways that they advertise and market their product in the next segment. You're listening to Drive Time with Holly. I'm Michael Yaffe.
And I'm Holly.
And we will be right back.
Let's be better consumers. You're listening to Drive Time with Holly.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this is the time of year we all want to be better consumers, because this is the time of year where a lot of us, most of us, pretty much all of us are going to be doing a lot of shopping because it's the holiday season. Time to get those gifts, time to shop for those gifts. But it's also time for the business owners to make sure they're selling their gifts in the right way to get people to their stores, to get people to their website. And we've been talking a lot about upcoming Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and talking with some local business owners on how best to market their products.
Right, and how to get ready for the holiday season. You know, one thing that Better Business Bureau reminds consumers of during the holiday season is be careful what deals you take advantage of.
Right.
You know, whatever the hot toy is or whatever the hot product is this holiday season, undoubtedly you will start to see pop-ups and social media ads and emails offering extreme discounts on that product, or saying that we've got a bunch of these products, we're selling them at a great price. Click here to purchase yours now. We see every year the hot toy or the hot item become bait for bad guys, for scammers to take advantage of people. So the holiday season and online shopping is also one of Better Business Bureau's times to shine in consumer awareness, as far as helping consumers be better shoppers online, helping them, make wise spending decisions, and make sure that you're spending money with retailers that are protecting your financial information, protecting the data that you're giving them during the shopping process. And then just in general, buyer beware. If you see that the hot item for a slash price or an amazing discount, you know, nobody this time of year is offering a 50 or 75% discount on the hot toy.
Yeah.
So
probably not.
Right. And then two, we want to make sure that consumers are aware that when it comes to the Santa's going to send your kid a Christmas letter or make a phone call to your child, things like that. In years past, we have seen phishing scams, and we've seen different scams related to those, because you have to remember, if you're entering your email address or your contact information and you don't know who you're giving it to, you could be putting it into the wrong hands. So
yeah. I mean, this is a time of year where it's supposed to be peace on earth, goodwill towards men, but then unfortunately there are still some Grinches out there.
A lot of us have our wallets out at this time of year.
Yeah.
And so whether it's charitable giving or online shopping, you know, BBB, we try to do our part to remind consumers that it's just as important this time of year as it is any other time of the year, but maybe even more so now when you're so ready to spend, that you do so wisely. But getting back to the topic at hand, what we talked about before the break was how important influencers are and how important marketing and branding is to the success of this time of year. So we're joined by Lauren Eggert from Barney's Coffee and Tea. Two marketing, branding, kindred spirits. We had a conversation out in the hall, and she really had no intentions of being on the mic today, but we had a really great conversation, and I think a lot of people
connected immediately.
You know, we connected on that level. So I think a lot of people will be interested, because if you are a YouTube consumer, if you're watching YouTube, if you're watching the different social media channels, Snapchat, you know that you're being marketed to, and you know that there are brands who are leveraging influencers to kind of promote their products. So Lauren, talk about how Barney's is leveraging influencers, and that's new for you guys, right?
It is. This is the first year that we've actually targeted some influencers that we wanted to partner with. And so we sort of cultivated a core group of power middle influencers who have huge social media followings, and we are starting a campaign with them to talk about our brand, and it's going to create, brand awareness in states that may not know us, but really demographics that we're trying to reach.
Because a coupon just doesn't cut it anymore, does it?
It doesn't. We're finding more and more that the millennial and Gen X demographics, they are looking to people that they trust for recommendations. Mm-hmm. And the best recommendation is from someone that you trust and a word of mouth. And so we're finding that if there's a, celebrity that you love and they're using a specific type of lipstick, you are going to want that lipstick.
Right.
And so we kind of wanted to get on that bandwagon and say, hey, we have, America's favorite flavored coffee. If we can have people talk about it, their fans and followers are going to be into it too.
And I think what's interesting is if the coffee is in your hands or in Scott's hands, and you are holding the bag of coffee or you're drinking the coffee and talking about how amazing it is, I believe you, but you also work for the company. And so when you put the product in the hands of someone who, the product can look much more native in their kitchen, in their hand, and you're seeing someone that you identify with, or maybe through YouTube or through other social media channels, you've developed this familiarity with them. To see one of your favorite celebrities or to see someone that you feel a connection with enjoying the product, it kind of flips the switch in your brain, and that's what you guys are banking on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I personally follow a lot of mommy bloggers, and when they make a recommendation to me, I trust them. I feel a little bit like I'm in their inner circle. I know I'm not.
And if they would, and I think a lot of times if you feel like a kindred spirit with them, or if you feel a connection, at the very least, if they like it, you would considering it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you may not rush out and buy it, but oftentimes, and I know, I watch a lot of YouTube, and there are products that I would have never considered or I would have never seen before, brands that I've never heard of before, that only because an influencer has it in his or her hand and they're talking about it, and I get to see it perform and I get to see them experience it, now all of a sudden that brand's on my radar.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that I've had the same experiences looking on YouTube or podcasts or even radio where people are, personal experience with the product that you admire or you connect with, like you were saying. And it's influenced me.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt it's smart marketing.
Sarah, I know that Shea Bakery has also had experiences with influencers. Talk a little bit about influencers that maybe not specifically who they are, but how their interaction with your product and their reviews of your product. Why is that important?
It's definitely important. As a small company starting out, you need to get your product out there. And it's very difficult with the limited funds and resources that you have. So especially on YouTube and Instagram, if you're able to reach out to certain ones, they may not even ask for a fee or anything. They just may be willing to try your product. You can just get it out there, send it to them. And with their huge following base, that'll open your product up to a huge market that never existed. So it's definitely something that needs to be done, especially with the marketing and how trends are going nowadays, to reach out on social media.
Yeah. And, you leverage their following. I think that's what's so unique about this marketing and branding model is you're leveraging the follower of these influencers. So, previously word of mouth, if I put a coupon out and someone came and purchased because of a coupon, I may speak to my friends and family. Maybe that's 10 or 15 people, maybe. But these influencers, some of them have millions of followers, and their views and the interactions that they have, their engagement are at astronomical levels. So I think it's really interesting. I think influencers are something that a lot of brands are paying attention to because, like we talked about before, with both a small business like Shea Bakery and also an iconic brand like Barney's, if your business isn't nimble and if you don't pay attention to the trends, this could be your last holiday season. So we appreciate you guys joining us. We appreciate you sharing some of the tricks of the trade, and we hope you have a really wonderful and successful season.
Yes, you were listening to Drive Time with Holly. I want to also wish everyone a wonderful Thanksgiving coming up, and stay safe shopping on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Hope you have a lot of fun. I'm Michael Yaffe.
And I'm Holly.
And we'll talk more about shopping and being smart consumers this Christmas season, throughout the Christmas season. And of course, we will see you guys next time.